3-2. They played in Miami at the weekend. It is just about enough. From 2-0 down, Argentina, the goals to Cuti Romero, Leo Messi, and Enzo Fernandez to complete the comeback. And another absolutely astonishing game from Argentina. They're into the quarterfinal to face the winner of Colombia and Switzerland. Welcome into our Matchday studios alongside Beattie, Mike Grella, and Nigel Reo-Coker. I'm Chris Wittyngham. And guys, at 2-0, we thought Egypt were there. They kept hitting Argentina on the counterattack, but as ever, the champions summoning that will and that ability to go and get the goals and the chances to win the game.
I will say, Grella, you called it.
Yeah,
you called the comeback.
You could smell it. You could feel it.
He's called it. 2-0, nothing up, and he's saying, watch this game finish 3-2. And it did.
I just felt like Argentina just has the tools and the know-how and the fight and everything to go and get the game. And then also they have a guy named Lionel Messi that makes the difference when he plays. That first cross that he makes is inch perfect. The second goal, he's got to hit it on the half volley between two defenders, is crazy. So the third goal, shockingly, he's not involved in. Actually, I don't think. But what a performance, Argentina, from them. But obviously, we'll talk about the defensive woes. But them being a little bit weak defensively is asking the question of the attacking side of the game and saying, hey, can you do it at this level? And they answer. Can you do it at this level? And you answer. Can you do this? And they answer. So really, really incredible competitive spirit in this team.
Scary. That's the best way to describe them. Absolutely scary. I mean, we knew Argentina was going to be good, but to be this good still, 2-0 down, talk about nearly on your way out of the competition to come back and win 3-2, that's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You talk about resilience and character, and I would say they're street smart. The way that they play, and I always say coming into this World Cup, I describe them as a pack of wolves. And you've got to give credit to Scaloni, the manager, and how he's got them together as a unit and how they play. Never say die attitude. Yes, we know they got Messi, can make something happen, but you've got to give credit to the rest of the team as well and everything that they do. You talk about Romero as the one who gets the goal, obviously Messi's cross, but it is absolutely scary just to see what they've just done. And it's not just the first time, it's also that they did it against Cabo Verde is another one as well. So they've had two amazing games where they keep showing us everything. And we talk about the love of the game of football. You can't just rely on athleticism. Quality shines through in the end. Messi has the quality, but all the other players know their part that they play in. They all play their role for the same one goal. And that is what is scary about this Argentine side.
And we're hearing, sorry, Jen, we're hearing that Lionel Messi is really emotional after this game, in tears. We know, obviously, the situation that's going on with his father that has affected him at points of the tournament, but you just kind of feel like this might be his last stand. This might be his sort of last chance to do this, and that is also, I imagine, going into his thinking right now.
I think when you're 2-0 down, 100%, if you are in that position, obviously we can say whether it may or may not be his last World Cup, however far they get to, but when those start to creep in and the emotion, we all know knockout games are such highly strung emotionally games anyway, but when you are 2-0 down and those start to creep in, could this be my last World Cup? What he's gone through personally, you know, to come back and to win it in the way that they did and not even go into extra time this time. They got it done in normal time. So credit to absolutely everyone. You see how much it means to the entire squad, not just Messi, but we've seen a lot of emotions this World Cup at end of games with legends that may or may not be retiring, but to see him still progress, I didn't want to see him go out. I wanted to see Argentina progress, and credit to him. He's just in a league of his own, in my opinion. Grella summed it up. Part of goals still. Whether he, is consistently in the game over 90 minutes or not, doesn't matter. He comes up in the perfect moments. The goal taken out of the air, the amount of people that would sky that over the bar, and he just managed to get over it controlled in the moment when his team needs him the most. He does it every single time.
Imagine being a Ronaldo fan the last 24 hours.
Yeah, tough scenes. And I will say though, in the first probably 70 minutes of the game, I was just looking up some of his figures in the game. He was dispossessed 6 times in the game. He misplayed 9 passes. He wasn't flawless. Yeah. But then, as you say, coming up in that moment, which actually was one of the criticisms of him as they got eliminated in Champions Leagues in sort of the mid part of the 2010s, was not coming up in those moments. But these last 2 World Cups, time in and time out, he's been up for the occasion.
I love you, Whitty. I love when you come out. I love when we go down the stats road. It's so funny because it's just, as ex-players, I never ever thought that. Whenever I came across top world-class talent, I didn't care if they gave the ball away 10, 12 times again. Like, that never would come into our mindset as players. We just knew, you just better be ready, because when that moment comes, he's going to take it. And there's so many times we've all been involved in games where you hear about these great teams or these great players, and they do nothing for 90 minutes. But guess what? When that moment came, they take their goal, they score the goal, and everyone talks about what they did. And then we played on the pitch saying, but he didn't do nothing for 70 minutes. It doesn't matter. That's Messi. So I don't care how many times he gives the ball away. He can give it away every single time. But you better believe the moment that counts the most, he'll be the one that scores, or he'll be the one that steps up when it matters. And that's what happens when you're talking about special players, the very, very top 1%. That is what they've done the entirety of their career. That when it matters the most, that's when they step up.
He's a Joker in the Dark Knight. You know, when they got him locked up in the jail, and you got him there in front of you, and you're good. You got all the security there. You know he's got the guy that's going to hurt you, but you got him for 70 some odd minutes. You've got him comfortable. You got him in front of you. You got guys marked, and then inch perfect cross for Romero, right? Like, those defenders were close. Like, you're defending, you could.
Right.
What do they tell you? Arm's length when you're defending, right? Or you know, be tight. Those defenders had an arm's length on Romero, but the ball is so perfect, goes over the first defender's head, just enough for Romero, and then the finish on the second one is incredible. And you know it's going to be him. I was saying at halftime, he's going to hurt. That guy's going to hurt you. That guy's going to.
He didn't say to smell his breath.
And they didn't. And Egypt knew, and everyone knows. The world knows.
But okay,
and who hurts you? Lionel Messi.
But look where he was
out of this,
well.
Out of this world.
For that cross, though, look where he's at, though. You think again, like you said, you think you've done enough.
Yeah.
But it's the quality aspect of the cross. Like, it's a world class.
And maybe we'll talk about the U.S. Maybe we'll talk about the U.S. But that's what they're missing. They don't have the quality with the ball.
Of Messi, most teams don't.
Yeah, I mean, but even that though.
With the ball.
Of course.
Look at the winning goal. Martinez's ball as well. That is a world class cross. Pinpoint, accurate. Fernandez heads that. That was just like a jaw drop moment. And again, it's the quality aspect. There's only so much you can rely on. Oh, work hard, run, this, that, and athleticism.
Correct.
Yeah,
when you get to the highest level, your quality is going to be called into play. Every player that went through it, you know, we went through it when I was criticised, you never be good enough, yeah? You start learning about that. Quality at the highest level is what's going to count.
And Messi delivered at exactly the right time.
Yeah, no, I like that third goal as well, because Yasser, I think, I was talking to you about this, Grella, off air. He's constantly looking his shoulder, and you guys are talking about the perfect cross, because that defender, Yasser, in the third goal, constantly looking over his shoulder. I think he looks 2 or 3 times to see where his player is. But because the cross is so perfect, he still knew exactly where the player is, but the cross completely beats him for the third goal. So, no, you're spot on. And yes, Messi did pop up in the right area.
And I guess from an Argentina standpoint, we saw there in one of the YouTube comments, and please do get involved in the YouTube comment section, Argentina are going to win the World Cup, someone said. Whew. Do you think that even though they pulled off the comeback, even though they survived against Cabo Verde, that they are riding their luck a bit here, and that at some point this is going to catch up to them?
I admire it, and I think, you can't keep going in this way. And I think also you look at the defensive frailties that they showed today as well. And again, my favourite to win the competition, the most talented team is France. Oh. And France's strongest point is their attack. And will Argentina's defence be able to hold up against Mbappe, Doué, Barcola, or Olise, whoever starts for that French team? I think that's going to be a real test for them if they get there. But I can't not see a rematch of last year's
Well, they're
final.
on the England side, aren't they?
Yes. So if Argentina win today, they'll face the winner of Colombia and Switzerland in the quarterfinal. And then if they win that game, they'll face the winner of Norway and England in the semifinal.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I mean, Argentina-England is always a firecracker. There's a lot more than football there with that game there. I would say it would be a great game. I wouldn't bet against England. I would not bet against England.
I think the one thing for Argentina is obviously defensively. We talk about how good their strengths are going forward, but looking at how good Egypt were with their counter-attacks and how fast they were getting forward. I joked at one point that the players around Salah didn't even look the quickest. Everyone else was so athletic. And I think that was the one point, exactly to your point, Nige, coming up at the likes of a potential France. Yeah. If that's Olise, if that's Mbappe coming forward, that is a real threat that can pose Argentina a lot of problems if that happens.
Because what they do is, Jen, they try and go into these one-on-one situations, and most of the teams they face, they've dominated. But now with the athleticism that Egypt showed today, and they're showing if you can carry that ball and if you can beat 1 or 2 Argentinian players, you're going to cause them a lot of problems because they're just not that athletic or dynamic enough to live with really athletic players who are technically good. And we saw that all the problems that Egypt caused Argentina today was someone dribbling with the ball and taking 2 or 3 players on. They can never get into a shape.
I think bookies coming into the tournament, France, Spain, England, everyone talked about them. We even downgraded Argentina. I actually don't think Argentina very good. I watched them defend against Cabo Verde, not good. I just watched them now against Egypt, not good. They get bailed out a little bit with a soft foul for sure, but a soft foul. A lot of workers around Messi, relying a lot on Messi to create the moment. For sure, if Messi doesn't find that first cross, time starts running out quick for Argentina. So I don't think they're the best team. When you still mention the teams of Spain, France, England, I don't think. But how could I sit here and say Argentina will not win the World Cup or not likely to win the World Cup when they have the little magician there? That guy is not from this planet. I don't care if you look at his goals or what metric you want to look at. That guy is not from this planet. The way he's able to, at his age, by the way, he's old now.
38.
At his age, able to make the difference. I mean, how can you bet against him? If you bet against him, you're out of your mind.
Sorry, I was wrong. He's 39.
Well,
he just turned 39.
I'm sure he'd be offended if you call
39.
him little as well, little magician. He's a big magician.
I mean,
Yeah.
In footballing words, he's a giant. Don't call
Okay.
him little, he's a giant.
But we have to talk.
whatever you want to call him, he's amazing.
We have to talk about the 1 or 2 controversial points in this game, and you alluded to it. One is the goal that Egypt hit on the counterattack. They take off 15 seconds after a challenge. They go and score. They go back on VAR and disallow it for a foul in the build-up for a step from the defender, Lisandro Martinez. First off, do we think that was a foul? Should that goal have been disallowed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think if it stayed as a goal, it would have been one of the best goals of the tournament in terms of a counter-attack, but it starts from a foul. I know it might be soft. Nigel's facial expression is disagreeing, but it's a foul. He stands on his foot. It's a foul.
Jen, how many times have you had your foot trod on?
Plenty of times, but if you slow it down in those moments,
when it
it's a foul.
slows down, it looks worse. But you've had it plenty of time and no fouls given.
Or
right?
I've done the stamp.
Okay, there you go. That's my point. See, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think VAR should have gone that far back for that. For me, I don't think that's what VAR is brought in for. You know, this happens. Football's a physical sport. These type of situations happen. I don't like it. I think that the goal should have stood. That's my opinion on it, because I think that VAR this goes back into trying to make an imperfect game perfect. And if that's the situation, we saw it all coming together before Argentina got their winning goal.
Yes.
With Mo Salah in the box. And then that wasn't really shown too much in the replay. Very similar situation. He gets his ankle kicked and he goes down.
Did you think that one was a foul?
I mean, on the first one, I think they set a precedence for when they gave that first one, that they could give that one easy. Because if Mo Salah loses his foot and his ankle gets kicked in the box, then that's a foul.
And didn't replay.
And that's a problem. But if that was left normal, I don't think there would have been too much complaints from real football fans to say, oh, that's a foul. Because even after the initial incident, Argentina had 4 or 5 players who could have won the ball or won a tackle, and they didn't. It was a great goal by Egypt, and for me, I just don't like VAR being brought in for something that far back. Yeah. I'm just against it.
Grella, do you think it was a foul?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a referee, right, in a day and age, and maybe the world's always been like this, but in a day and age where liability is a big thing, right? That's why we all have insurance, because you just don't know what's going to happen. The referee can't look at that play and say it's not a foul.
Yeah.
Because the image is there, and then people will say, well, the image is there, so how can you explain it? He can't go back and say, oh, it's soft. So he doesn't want to be liable for that moment. So the image is there. And whether you like it or not, in today's game, that's a foul, because not only he stomps his foot, but he also pulls his shirt. So it's a foul. Now, I think what Nigel's alluding to, and I think this is an important point too, is that the VAR was never brought in to do that, right? So now there's like 2 camps forming. There's people that hate VAR and then people that think VAR has made the game better, right? I think VAR is a very useful tool. I just think that the way they write the rules and the way they're using it currently is not consistent across the board, and that's causing a lot of the discrepancies and a lot of the problems that we're having. They don't know when and how to use it. It's getting used sometimes, not getting used other times. And like I mentioned to you earlier, to everyone, the chip in the ball, is there a chip in the ball or not? I mean, we cover football for a living. I don't know. Is there a chip in the ball? Like,
yes, there's a chip in the ball.
But only when they want the chip in the ball. And then when it rains, does the chip work? So I think the technology is ahead of how we're able to apply it to the game, if that makes any sense. So I think the technology is ultimately good. I think that the way we're using it maybe can be improved.
And I I also think as well, just from a spectator standpoint, there are people who are watching this game that want to be entertained and that see a goal scored by Egypt.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant underdog story and a brilliant move, and it just feels like everything about VAR and the technology used is to take things away, take goals away and entertainment away rather than add. Even just the idea of the way that they have written the rule for, we can look on VAR if a corner was given wrong, but we can't look on VAR if a goal kick was disallowed wrong. It's about taking things away rather than adding to it. I think everyone watching that game is going, we're really going to go back and ruin that moment over this kind of challenge? I think it was a foul. And ultimately, Egypt went 2-0 up in the game anyway. They went and scored a few minutes later. And I don't think that, the same players in the same kind of sequence. And ultimately, Egypt, you would think from 2-0 would sit in no matter what. But we don't know how the game plays out if that original goal stands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just with Grella, exactly what Grella said there for me. I just think it's just going too far back. It's a useful tool, VAR, but it's how you use it, how you imply VAR in the footballing world. And I think there's a lot of football fans who would be saying, okay, the referee missed that one, no problem. It's not a major foul or incident, but to go that far back and take the goal out, and you talk about emotions, we all know about the momentum, how momentum shifts, and Egypt score that goal. Who knows what could happen? I know obviously Argentina still came back to win 3-2, but it's in the moment, and that can be affecting the players as well. But for me, I don't like it being implemented and used in that manner.
The Croatia one was ludicrous. The Croatia one. Oh, now all of a sudden there's a chip in the ball. I didn't get them. I must have missed the memo.
Do you want to cut into that ball and see if there's a chip in there?
That one was crazy.
And the ball doesn't move. And then it's the great. I don't care if you're a Croatia fan or if you're or a Portugal fan. I don't care. If you were a football fan that day, 2-2, free football coming next, like you're in the World Cup. Yeah. Amazing moment. Everyone's jumping. What a goal. Croatia's back in it. Modric against Ronaldo. Wow. The chip in the ball that no one knew about is deciding that I don't know. And then again, like I said, Norway makes a defender, makes a tackle on the Brazilian player, touches the ball, and they don't see the touch on the ball. Where's the chip then? I don't know. I think as well, technology, it just doesn't.
Don't worry, he took him out like a 4-truck after, but it's all right.
Touch the ball.
And I think as well, I mean, the history of Argentina, both at the last World Cup and the number of penalties that they got awarded, and also in this World Cup with the fact that the Messi challenge against Algeria was not given as a red, when obviously the Balogun one was given as a red, and then that one was rescinded. There are these sort of controversial moments that seems to happen a lot around Argentina. Right. I mean, it's just merely a statement of fact.
He's telling the truth.
Like, they're controversial.
Di Maria's penalty in the World Cup, Messi stomping the guy, the back of the guy's leg, and like you say, nothing's given for it. But then Balogun. The issue is not the technology. The issue is how we're using
the inconsistent application. But it's ultimately humans running it. We're all making decisions and judgment calls, and they think they're making the right call, but sometimes people think it's the wrong one. We'll have much more reaction on this one between Argentina and Egypt. Stay with us on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount+.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started.
I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount+.
Egypt just falling short after going 2-0 up against Argentina in the last 16 of this World Cup. Argentina with an incredible comeback, but it was goals from Yasser Ibrahim after Lionel Messi had a penalty saved by the Egypt goalkeeper Mustafa Zico, finishing off a chance. Mo Salah helped create that chance, but ultimately it wasn't an enormously fruitful World Cup for Mohamed Salah, who is sent home in this last 16. And I guess the question now going forward, team, is I guess we look at Mo Salah and what he's been able to do over the course of his Liverpool career. Didn't win the Africa Cup of Nations, came very close, and we can see now his World Cup journey end in the last 16. Was meant to be a transformative player for the Egypt national team. He's been a good player, but maybe not quite at that high level. How do you guys see the breadth of his career with the national team, Nige?
I'll probably say did a job is the best way to put it, really and truly. We never ever got to see the Mo Salah domestically at Liverpool when he wore the international shirt. Wasn't the same Mo Salah that we saw. Played his part. Obviously, such a big icon and a legend for the nation of Egypt. But his performances never transferred from domestically representing Liverpool to the national team. So it's one of those ones sometimes. It's hard to pick apart. You know, we see so many different players and the ability to perform at the same level playing for your club to your national team. It's a different level of football, different style. Have to deal with a lot more different factors when it comes to it. I'll probably say it's more of a disappointment for me than anything else that he really couldn't transform himself to be the same Mo Salah when he put on the Egypt national team shirt.
Yeah, I mean, he's still second top goal scorer in team history. I think that still is a stat. Okay, not number one, but I think it's reaching to AFCON finals that's interesting because they won all of their AFCON titles before he even made his debut, I think in 2011, if I'm right. And I think that's the interesting point, that yes, he could produce from an individual standpoint still. 68 goals is a huge amount of career goals internationally. He's a complete legend for his country. What he's done at domestic level is a different conversation, but I think you'll be disappointed to not win anything for his country, 100%, especially when you make your debut. If you're sitting on that kind of history, you want to reproduce and contribute again at that level. So I think you'll be disappointed from that standpoint, but he's still breaking records at this World Cup, advancing to the stages that they did. He's still a legend in his own right, but I think you'll still be disappointed from that standpoint and not making another title for his country.
And it's also the fact that, if I'm correct, Egypt are the most decorated African Cup of Nations champion.
Yeah.
And
four-time winners.
One Mo Salah there, and he wasn't able to bring one home, even at the peak when he was Mo Salah. So I think that's a difficult thing for him, really, to probably stomach, you know, because I know he's a winner. He wants to win stuff and everything like that. I'm sure he'd have wanted to win something major internationally for Egypt. It's great goal record and stuff, still second, but he hasn't, I don't know, he just hasn't looked happy for a while. Hasn't been the real Mo Salah domestically. Even at Liverpool, when you look at the last two seasons, then I think it just seems to me that he's carried that into international football as well.
All he's got to do is log into his bank account if he's feeling down about his career.
Well, and to be fair, it might grow even further.
Or
because
come sit with me for a day. I'll make him cry. I'll tell him about my career. I'll make him cry. I think he's an excellent player. He's a legend, no question about it. 68 goals with 121 appearances. I mean, scoring a goal more than every other game. That's pretty incredible. Also in football, you have to realize, I think this is important for parents that have footballers in their family or young footballers as well. So many variables go into it. The pitch, the manager, the teams, style of play, fitness levels, the competition, so many different things, right? Weather, like, that's why sometimes you come off the field as a footballer and you're like, you don't know, you're like, is that my fault? Can I improve? Or was it a different variable? Versus like you play another sport like tennis or whatever, it's you against, or a golf or something, it's you against the golf course. At tennis, it's you against the other opponent. It's not a lot of guessing work. It's not really a lot of fingers to point. In football, so many variables go into it. There's a big differences from when he plays for Liverpool, where he's playing with $100 million players around him who play under Klopp, at least, in a rock and roll style football. Everything's set up for him. Hey, you just do your job. That's it. You hang out here. You do your job 1v1 when we get the ball in transition. In Egypt, you see, comes inside a little bit more. He tries to manage a little bit more the game. He wants to connect lines. He wants to defend. He wants to lead transition. I think he has a lot more responsibility at Egypt, and obviously players that are lesser level than he comes across at Liverpool. So there's that as well. But nothing to be. I mean, what a international career. What a player.
And it is worth remembering that he is a free agent from a club standpoint. Suggestions that the Saudi Pro League and Major League Soccer are also interested in his services. We'll see if maybe high-level European clubs come in for him as a free agent as well. On the Egypt team in the overall, Salah didn't play an enormous role in this tournament. We were talking probably about 50 minutes into the game that he hadn't really made much of an impact in this game, and Egypt still looked like they thrived in transition. A lot of their players play actually domestically in the Egyptian top flight. 8 of their starting 11 start domestically in Egypt. Where do we see them, and was that really their one big chance that they're going to have to get to a quarterfinal? You're 2-0 up in the last 16 against Argentina. Chances like that don't come around very often.
No, not at all. And I think I don't know if I want to say it's lack experience in knockouts on a world stage anyway, because when it comes to those moments, you're 2-0 up against Argentina, and yes, throwing 6 at the back, defending, as much as possible, but there's a huge difference in that with not collapsing, and I think that's what they did, and the more pressure that Argentina put on them. But the athleticism they showed, the counter-attacking was one of the best I've seen at the World Cup so far. Yes, Argentina have their vulnerabilities at the back, but there are so many positives that they can take, knowing that they have amazing players coming through if we do see Salah stop at an international level, for sure.
Last World Cup, we saw it with Morocco and the progress that they made. I think Egypt are going to be in the same mold. They have to look at this now as a great progression, and for the future World Cup coming up, it's making the next stage after this. That's what they've got to look at. They've got a great foundation to work from. Talk about Mo Salah, maybe, he might not play international anymore. I don't know. But the next person for me who's all round to be like him to take over, it's Malmouche now. It's all for Malmouche. This team now should be Malmouche's team. He's the most all-round complete player. I know we've seen some impressive performances individually today, but now it's where Malmouche has to step up now to be that next guy, to be the next face of Egyptian football.
And he has that moment in transition today as well. Was it at 2-2? Where they were finally able to get out on the break, and he has that opportunity to slip a ball through and just couldn't find the quality in the pass. Yeah.
I mean, it's also because he came on as well.
Yeah.
But I think for me, when you look at the bigger picture of moving forward, who's the next one, it's him now. He has to step up now. He has to be the main man for Egypt, and they can build from this. They can build from this a lot. And again, when teams like Egypt and Morocco do so well on the world stage, and you talk about taking the world champions to the levels that they did, losing 3-2, it inspires the next generation so much to want to be like these players. So they really need to look to build on from this now and keep the momentum going.
Hassan, too, shout out just to Hassan, the right midfielder, who created the first amazing goal. Also had the assist when the goal got taken away for the next goal. He was amazing. And
the goalkeeper, I know they lost 3-2, but the goalkeeper made some amazing saves throughout the game. He could have finished 6.
Jen will disagree with you here.
There was... Maybe he made other big saves, but the 2 goals that Argentina scored, I don't think they're out with the realm of a top goalkeeper saving. I think they're in his vicinity. It was the pace that killed him, right?
It was a chip. It was a chip in the ball, Jen. The chip in the ball. That's why
I was like, what are you on about?
Chip in the ball.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah, but the 2 goals that were the 2 of the 3 that were scored, I thought were, but what do I know? I was never a goalkeeper.
And overall, I just would say overall, I'll give him credit for the performance he's put.
Yeah,
I agree 100% with what Jenny's saying.
The save from Messi and the save from Alvarez was extraordinary.
Unbelievable saves. But again, this just goes to what we said about the quality of Argentina. That's just the reality of it. You're going to have to deal with it. probably could have done better for the goals. Probably made more harder saves than the easiest one that we expect him to do. But I think we'd still have to give him a credit still for the performance, because that could have been 6 or 7 then.
You know, they sell those gloves, the finger savers. You know those gloves that the keepers have?
Fingertips.
They have like a strong spine across the back of your hand. I wish Miola was here right now. Have a strong spine at the back of your hand, so your fingers can't bend back, so you can't jam your fingers or whatever. If he had those on, then those 2 goals, maybe they don't have.
Maybe.
They hit his hand flush, and they just straight in, to Jen's point.
Now, our very own Nico Cantor had the chance to catch up with some Egypt fans off the back of that devastating defeat to Argentina.
Listen, guys, Egypt before this World Cup, had never won a game at the World Cup. Do you guys leave with your heads held high?
Of course. There's some honor to it that you lost to Argentina. They previously won the World Cup. There is some honor to that. We can't deny it, you know what I mean?
I'll say something, though. We're looking forward to Morocco. Morocco's the only one left out of the African countries. Morocco! Let's go, Morocco! Dima Maghreb, we're waiting for you to be French.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And it is true, that the fact that Nico mentions, they hadn't won a game at the World Cup before. And so we see that sort of level of positivity. It is an opportunity. The one thing, though, that you just feel at the end is this is ultimately the kind of game that you're going to have to win at some point. You're 2-0 up against and Argentina. You come into the game, you're just trying to give yourself a chance.
It's experience.
But at 2-0, it's so hard.
It's so hard.
Devastating.
It's so hard because you're facing top-level teams. We've all been there in big games, in these type of moments where the pressure keeps on coming and coming and coming. So you're going to have to deal with it. It's part of education of football. You have to go through these type of games, and then you get the knowledge from it. You learn as a player and you develop from it to say, oh, I've been there before. And you learn how to see out these games. It's easier for us sitting there and saying, oh, do this, do that. There were moments where they were brave through it. But as the momentum kept on shifting in favour of Argentina and the quality was rising, it becomes harder because the physical, how do I describe it? Physically, you start to decline. And it gets harder and harder to get those passes, to connect those passes, and to make those runs again. But you have to learn from these moments.
2019 Women's World Cup, we played Argentina. We were up 3-0 and ended up tying 3-3. And it was the one thing that I would say was lack experience, that we didn't manage the game. We didn't manage the big moments. The occasion got the better of us. When I look back at that game, it was one of the worst international games to have been a part of because of the way we lost it. And I do think Egypt will feel the exact same. It was experience. If they could replay that game, I get coming up against some of the best players in the world, as we did as well. But when that feeling is because you think you're inexperienced, is so hard to come back from. And the only thing that is going to make that better is to do it all over again. So they're going to progress. They're going to get better. I agree with your Morocco comments before.
Yep.
A team that have got so much talent to get better at, but when you come away from those games, it's so gutting because you know it's just inexperience against better players, that when you have something in the game and you come away with absolutely nothing and you're out, it's awful.
Yeah, it is. It is really devastating for this Egypt side, who do lose by 3-2 to Argentina in Atlanta this afternoon. There's still another game, if you can believe it, to come in the World Cup. We'll have much more on the World Cup here on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt. What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
This is Golazo Matchday reacting to Argentina's 3-2 comeback win against Egypt and really adding insult to injury for any Atlanta-based Egyptian fans. Yeah, so that might top 28-3 in terms of the comeback, writes Tom Brady. He, of course, coming back to beat the Atlanta Falcons by that incredible scoreline in the Super Bowl. Obviously, Atlanta was the venue for this one today. It was an absolutely sensational game between Argentina and Egypt. But guys, I guess one of the things that we have to think about a little bit going forward now for Argentina is some of the flaws that they expose and have been exposed defensively in these two games in the knockout round against Cabo Verde and against Egypt. What are the problems that you would identify, Grella, with this Argentina side as it stands right now?
Well, transitional defending for sure is something we applauded them on in the earlier stages, but then in the last two games they conceded a couple goals that way. 4 goals in the last 2 games is a little bit concerning. Lisandro Martinez at the back, if they do come up to play against Norway or whoever, right, in the next round, imagine Holland against him on the back post or in the middle of the field. It's tough. So yeah, you see the graphic here, shaky back line, allowing a lot of shots. And I just don't know if that back four in general is the best we've seen Argentina have. I think the front, they have a lot of solutions and a lot of options in terms of players to put around Messi, and Messi being one of that, weighted into that when I talk about their attacking options. But then at the back, worrying in the last 2 games for sure.
Nigel, I guess when you look at, so in the group stage, it's a different level of opposition, but not really a massively different level of opposition. Cabo Verde and Egypt are solid teams, but so are Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. It has fallen off quite significantly in this knockout round so far. Yeah,
different pressure, different level of pressure. Now you don't have the safety of being in the group stage. Well, oh, okay, we can maybe win the next one. Now if you lose, you're out. But I agree with Grella. I think that the back line is not invincible, and they can be got at. And I think that again, when they really get tested, great performance again by Egypt today. I want to take nothing away from them. But when you talk about Argentina, you're talking in the same breath in putting them in the category of the France, of the Spain, of the England, and probably Norway and the Colombia, the teams that they're going to face. And they've got some players. I think for me, when you look at the 2 favourites, really, France and Spain, alongside Argentina, they've got some real talent up top that can cause this back line some serious problems.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when you look at the difference between group to knockout. Those numbers are naturally, I think, going to increase with the better opposition you come up against, especially in a knockout. You know, you're coming up against teams, it's win or go home. So if they are down, they're going to be throwing more players forward, taking more chances, so you are going to concede more chances in that sense. But absolutely, when Argentina come up against better opposition, the further they progress, we talked about other teams that might come up against. Defensive transitions, for me, was the biggest red flag for them for up against Egypt. They looked so vulnerable, and just pace at the back, or even a mentality when you're running. Don't even look around, just get your head down and run back. At some points, they were coming into a jog or looking a little over-relaxed, and that was still a 1-0 down or 2-0 down. So for me, that has to be number one. If they sort defensive transitions, obviously the possession stats might be different coming the more they progress as well, but that was what their one. If they have any vulnerability, that's what it is. Work on that, and better chances for sure.
And I mean, we can see the graphic up there as well when you talk about duels won, 75%. Everything for me is that I like about them is, like, I called them a pack of wolves before, and it's the competitive nature that they have, and you just got to give credit to that. That's part of football. You know, yes, the quality, like we say, plays the biggest part at the highest level, but for the basic foundation of what you're supposed to do, run, tackle, jump, compete, they do it. And they do it all across the board in this Argentina side, and that's something that is a great strength for them, and you have to pay very close attention to that, how they are so united as a team, but they're willing to do the dirty work, willing to kick, willing to do the dark arts, we say, and very streetwise in how they play football.
And I guess in the defensive transitions, are there any particular things in the details that do you think are wrong right now?
You know, I love that you just brought up dark arts as well, because there was one, I think the goal that got disallowed, you know, when he's taken on 1, 2, 3 Argentinian players, in those moments, you foul. Yeah. You had plenty of players to cover. And I think, OK, it got brought back for a foul anyway. The goal didn't count. But at those moments in a counter-attack, if you've got players covering back with you, OK, no chances on a red card if you're the last person, obviously. But in some moments, that comes to dark arts and take a yellow.
Yeah, I can't remember the Argentine player that was chasing him. He's gone around him twice on the byline. And then another one's come across. That one that came across that he's nutmeg, that's where this is where your run stops. That's the kind of dark arts that normally we do see them actually do that. And but I just think for me right now, Argentina do look vulnerable if they've got players who can dribble the ball and dribble the ball well and ride the tackles. That is when they're vulnerable, because you have to break that first line of pressure with them, or that first one-on-one duel. Then it leaves them very open to conceding a goal.
Yeah, sorry, Witty, just quickly. The two center backs too. I just have my worry about the two center backs. You know, Lisandro Martinez. How tall is he? Do we know?
5'9", I think.
Don't talk about his height, bro.
5'9".
Don't talk about his height.
Jen would dunk on him. Easy. Float a ball up. Jen will head it over. She will.
Listed at 5'10".
Okay.
That's the same height as me. You calling me small?
Do you see what Haaland did to Gabriel the other day? Yeah. Gabriel, we touted all year, one of the best defenders in the world. You see what he did with a well-timed run? He just dunked on him.
Yeah.
That's a worry. What about if Otamendi comes in and he gets caught in space with Mbappe?
Guess what?
Or Bellingham running from the midfield, or whoever. That's where I just look at the backline Argentina. I don't think they have the same caliber of players that they have in the front.
Yeah, my money is Jen will dunk on you as well.
100%.
All right.
I'm also 5'10". Well, I'm 5'11", but still.
He's also not a central defender. He's a winger by trade. But I guess looking forward now, from an Argentina point of view, they'll face the winner of Switzerland and Colombia in the quarterfinal in Kansas City. Oof. If it's Colombia, it's a rematch of the Copa America final from 2 years ago. If it's Switzerland, they've had a good tournament. The news, obviously, today is no Johan Manzambi in that round of 16 match. What matchup do you think might suit them better?
I'll probably say for Argentina will probably prefer Colombia. Familiarity.
Prefer?
Yeah, they would. They'll prefer Colombia. Familiarity, they know what it's like. It's the culture aspect of it, of how South American football is played, so they know what they're going to come up against. I think Switzerland obviously does produce that European kind of style, something different. They can be organised defensively. Mbolo could be a big problem. You talk about the centre-backs you don't have to face, Mbolo for Switzerland will be a big problem for them if he does play. He's a physical presence that could cause problems with Martinez and Romero as well. I think that they would probably prefer Colombia. Because Colombia, again, we talked about it, Luis Diaz. That's it right now. Colombia right now is struggling to have that real striker to score goals and everything like that. It's all about Luis Diaz and what he does and how he runs. Strikers are not scoring for Colombia, and that is going to be a big problem. I think they can manage that better than they would have if they had to play Switzerland.
And that is the matchup to come for Argentina. We'll see the result of that game. But we want to bring in our betting expert, John Buckets-Eimer, who obviously had some action on this game from Morning Footy today, and also wanted to tell us about the way that the odds shifted over the course of the game, Buckets.
Good to see you guys. Yeah, really weird game. I'll talk about my bet here in a second. But it's just one of those games where Argentina to advance pre-match was sitting on around -900, -1,000. In the 75th minute, Argentina to win in money line. Grella, I know that you called this. You said they were going to win 3-2. That was 20-1. You had plus 2,000 in Argentina to win in regulation, something that's just unheard of in their matches. And I obviously didn't take that because we're not bragging about that here on the screen, but it's just crazy how much the lines move and how much one goal or one mistake can just change everything. We had only one bet for Morning Footy today, and that was Argentina to have over 1.5 goals and Messi to get a goal or assist. The Messi goal or assist just feels automatic at this point. It's so weird to have no goals for this bet in the 70th minute, and you're not really worried about it. You're not really sweating about it because it's Argentina, because it's Messi. Around the 75th minute, got a little bit nervous, a little bit worried about that one, but it ends up coming through. We kept it simple, just one bet on this Argentina game, and happy with how it ended ultimately.
Yeah, Messi gets both the goal and an assist. So
I should have done both.
A spectacular performance from him in the game. And a reminder, we'll have more on bets coming up later on in the show as it relates our 4 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff between Colombia and Switzerland. That one is at 4 p.m. from BC Place in Vancouver. A preview is on the way.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
This is Golazo Matchday, getting you ready for the 4 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff between Switzerland and Colombia from BC Place. One imagines, based off the way the tournament has gone so far, it will be a wall of yellow in the Pacific Northwest, as Vancouver is the venue for this one. Let's get into the starting 11s for both sides, starting first with Switzerland. And the headline here is no Johan Manzambi picked up an injury in the final training session before this one, and this is the team that will play in his place.
Yes, when I look at Switzerland, for me, you know, one player we don't mention a lot, but everyone should know about him is the General Granit Xhaka in there. The experience of him, nothing is better than having an experienced, top-quality midfielder in the middle of your team, the heartbeat, where he'll dictate and control everything. Got so much experience and so much years behind him. Fantastic player. And you might as well say he's a mini manager on the pitch starting for them. And Bolo's going to be the target point for me. He's the one that's going to be holding up the ball, holding up the play, a big physical presence. Sometimes you can't leave him in one-on-one situations. It's going to have to be a 2v1 situation when it comes to defenders. And when you do that, you're going to create space and leave space for other players. Ndoye, for me, good winger out there on the right-hand side. He will cause some problems as well. But it's a really well-organised Switzerland team. Going to be hard to beat, going to be well-organised defensively. Probably play a little bit of counter-attacking football, I'd say, Grella.
The back four are really good, too. Akanji, Zakaria, Rodriguez on the left have been in this team for a very long time. They understand each other, how they play, where they're going to be defensively, positionally. It's a team that's like a staple European team, right? They're going to control the lines, control the tempo, have possession. They're comfortable in possession, good on set pieces. So they're probably a team that's not great at anything, but they're really good at a lot of different departments that are fundamental to winning games.
And they perform really well in the knockout stage and even in the group stage as well by winning the group. There's a reason why this game is in Canada, and Canada is not playing here. Let's move then to the Colombia starting 11. It's just the one change that comes in from their last match of victory over Ghana, and it is up front. They've been trying to find the answer in that number 9 area. They've turned to Suarez yet again.
Yeah, James Rodriguez on the right. Suarez will be up the middle. Obviously, was excellent for Sporting this season. He scored an incredible amount of goals. Diaz on the left, I think, is the game changer, right? If he has a great game, anything is possible for Colombia. Even winning the World Cup is possible if he has a great game. The midfield, pretty tough. Lerma is a monster in there. He wins everything. He's physically powerful, can sit in front of those two, can also get forward. Weapon on set pieces. And then Sanchez and Lukumi, similar to the back line that I just mentioned about Switzerland, have played together, know each other, big, powerful, strong, play at a high level. So this team has the makings of a team that can win, but like Witty says, Suarez they're trying to find the key through that central position. They haven't been able to find it yet. I think Suarez can be the key. And
what you said about these two playing together, I would say, as much as I like Sanchez, at times can go missing, can just have a moment of lapse in concentration, which will lead to opportunities for opposition. He needs to stay focused 90-plus minutes. Yes, Diaz is the key man, but I'll tell you another key man, this guy right here. This guy right here, Munez, is as influential as Hakimi is to Morocco. Yeah. Modern-day fullback, any young kid watching the game of football, study this guy. He is absolutely bloody sensational, especially when he gets in the final third there. You talk about needing a goal, this might come from your fullback. That's how good of a player he is. Really terrific player.
Which is crazy to come from that kind of position, but you're right, modern-day fullback, that's going to be so important. You spoke about Switzerland and how good they are defensively, but they only just got their first clean sheet in the knockout last round. What's going to be so key is the rotations, whether it's Rodriguez coming on the inside and giving that space for Munoz to get up the right-hand side, just to displace Switzerland, really, because they are so structured and well defended in their shape.
Yeah.
And by the way, a reminder, this is actually a rematch of the last time the World Cup was in the United States. These two met in the group stage of 1994 at Stanford Stadium. Unfortunately, Colombia had already been eliminated from the group after they lost to the United States in their second match. But some classic kits.
The kits are so
I was going to ask you who that first player was. Were he in it?
Yeah, oh, is that Asprilla?
There we go.
Very good.
What a player he was. Ooh, what a player.
And this was a stacked Colombia team. Obviously, the story of the World Cup, one of the stories of that World Cup was the fact they went out in the group stage, having lost to the U.S. But, yeah, obviously, great to see them meeting up once again here at this tournament. Let's get into the match because I think it's interesting that you mentioned the fullbacks there. It's kind of been a fascinating story. They played that game against Portugal, that 0-0 draw. They dropped Munoz and Mojica because they wanted more defensive balance. In a game like this, which you are expecting to be a bit more even than, say, the Ghana game was, where Ghana defended for the lion's share of the match, How do you see that balance of the fullbacks getting forward, joining the attack, and then doing their defensive work?
I think it's an element of surprise. Jen said it. You know, you talk about Swiss side, European side. They always get the compliment of being so well organised, so well disciplined and structure. Sometimes you need to throw a bit of chaos in that. So if you've got Munoz just going to be getting forward, galloping forward, talk about, Jen said it perfectly right. Rodriguez will come inside, which creates the space. How do they adapt? How do Switzerland change how they want to be so defensively organised when now you've got a modern-day Hakimi coming up in the box, making those runs, whether it's sometimes out going over an overlap, or sometimes they call it the underlap now, or inlap, whatever these new words that they want to bloody invent, happens in football. But he's going to cause chaos, and he's got the ability to score goals. Don't be surprised if you see him making them runs into the actual centre forward position as well, because he's a very intelligent player when it comes to the final third.
Switzerland want to play in a game, and we were saying a little bit the same thing, but Switzerland want to play in a game where they can control the tempo. They can control the pace of the game. They can control moments. If they have to defend low block, no problem. If they have to go up the pitch and have some possession in your end, no problem. If they have to find Mbolo, no problem. Switzerland don't want to play in a fast game. They don't want to play in a game where they're going to get overloaded from the fullbacks, where they're going to have Diaz running behind them constantly, where there's going to be balls all over the place, where they're going to get stretched, where defenders are facing their own goal. So I think that in the first 10 minutes of this game, if the game seems fast, I think Colombia are probably going to be the ones that benefit from that. If the game seems slow and controlled, I think then they'll go on to prevail because they're more comfortable in those situations when the tempo is controllable.
I agree, but you do wonder if the likes of Granit Xhaka will notice those moments of when to speed it up, though, 100%. Right? Because if Munoz is gone, left all of that space, that conversation between Xhaka and Mbolo has to be, if he's gone, you're running in that space, I'm finding you if the ball drops. 100%. Edge of the box right to him, you're finding that run. They have to these points in tournaments, you have to know when to speed it up.
It's also one of those ones where, again, I'd say the word culture historically and how they are. Obviously, you know, you're Colombian, you know what it's like, right? I think for me, for Colombia, be true to your culture. Go out there and play. Don't go and play because you're playing Switzerland. Now all of a sudden you have to be polished. You have to kind of play the European way. Play with that edge. Play with that diamond in the rough kind of mentality. Don't be so predictable. Go out there and play football like you played in the streets or in the park or wherever you play. I think that's what makes it so special when you watch some of these Latin American teams and South American teams. They still play with that freedom. You want to win this game, play with that freedom. Give that unpredictability, because if you try and go very European, it doesn't suit you. It's not in your DNA. Go out there and play. And this guy, just a sensational player, Luis Diaz, can be absolute key.
Yeah, and he actually hasn't massively come online yet at this World Cup, but we saw in the last game James Rodriguez started to turn in some good performance. What have you made of Colombia coming into this game? Because it's three straight games with a clean sheet. They're not scoring a ton of goals, though. Are they finding the right solution, do you think, to make a deep run at this tournament?
I watched them play in some games. I can't recall exactly in the beginning of the tournament where I thought, wow, not very good. They don't have anyone to score goals.
Uzbekistan and Congo.
James Rodriguez was at Minnesota. Couldn't get into the team. Couldn't play a game. Weird situation going on. I think you want all your footballers playing week in and week out at a very high level when they come into this tournament like this. Diaz as well. Like I watched him, like I'm not sure. And then I watched the game against Portugal. I thought they were excellent. I thought in the last game they were excellent. Really looked like, Nigel said, looked like Colombia. The pace, the tempo, the forward thinking, the forward playing, the physicality, the speed. To me, when I think of Colombia, that's what I think
Look
about.
at where the goal's coming from. That's the problem there.
Fullback.
It's very easy. Colombia have a striker's problem.
It's a matter of which Colombia you're going to get on the day. You know, if you get a Colombia, like Nigel says, that tries to play in a controlled game, in a controlled fashion, I think that's the worst version of them. I think when they are on the front foot, they look really good. When they're going forward, when they're asking questions, balls around the corner, balls behind, runners behind, high tempo, high energy. That's more raw. I think
unbelievable.
That's what benefits them.
I think the thing for me is it's a worry about goals. And I look at Colombia and I would say even like with Ecuador. I thought Ecuador were a decent team. But again, I always say they have a striker's problem. If they've got a striker they can rely on, a striker that you know is going to be in form, can be a target man, a traditional number 9, they'll be causing a lot of problems. And that's the problem, that you don't have a striker. And one of your most influential
You can't say they don't have a striker, though. Suarez is
a striker.
He's incredible. He just hasn't done it with the national team.
Difference. Fine. Doing great at Sporting. Do it when you put on a national team shirt. That's where it counts.
But they have a striker there.
Counts. But he's not. You can't say they have a striker there because he's not doing it when he puts on a national shirt.
He's a good player.
Do it when you put on a national shirt.
Is he a good player?
Show us he's a good player. Show us you're a good player. Show us you're a good player when you play for the national team. That's when it counts and that's when it matters. And I think for me, that's the worry, because he looks like one of the most dangerous players in the team for them. And he's a right back. That's a bit of a worry.
What do you think about Suarez?
I mean, so far this tournament, I don't think he's played very well at all.
Yeah.
And I agree with you in terms of it is about, in this context. In the Sporting context, we saw with Gyökeres. Gyökeres in Sporting was brilliant. At Arsenal, it took him a second to come online. I think in this context, there's a reason why Nestor Lorenzo has picked Cordoba at times. I personally would pick Cucho Hernandez to lead the line.
Well, this goes to the conversation sometimes how we rely so much on looking at what players do domestically and this and that. They think, oh, suddenly because he does it domestically, he could do it internationally. It doesn't work like that. The one player that I would say who puts on the Superman coat when he puts on his international shirt, Mbappe. Yes, Messi as well, obviously, but Messi's a special case. But Mbappe is a player that gets criticised domestically, but when he represents France, he is Superman for France. So I think some players, you have to judge them on when they wear that national team shirt and how they perform for the national team.
I think one thing that will benefit them today, though, one thing knockout games give is chaos.
Yeah.
Because that is the one thing that changes. Teams play more conservative in group games. Yeah. I think the one thing we've seen, that master shift, we saw it earlier with the chances that Argentina had received since the group game, now in the knockouts. Same for Colombia. Coming in now, it'll be more chaotic. They'll thrive in that.
Jen, let's hope they calm down the chaos, because Colombians can do something beautiful.
We want the chaos.
And then 2 minutes later, they can get a red card. That's the Colombian
Not that kind of chaos, then.
Don't want a red card for this one. All right, let's bring in our gambling expert, John Buckets-Eimer, who will now have his predictions for this one. He's coming in. Go ahead, center stage, sir. What do you have in terms of your predictions for this one?
My predictions on this one are going to be going against the general public. This is a match where a lot of people are betting under 2.5 goals. The money is pouring in on the under because we're seeing Colombia's last 3 games, 2 goals over 3 games, 3 clean sheets. It's hard to look at that and expect goals. I think we're going to see both teams to score here or hit still at plus 100. We're getting that at even money. I know that Ken Brooks loves this bet. I think I'm going for chaos because when you're looking at how Switzerland's playing, this is not a team that's sitting back. This is not a team playing defensive. 9 goals already this competition, and outside of that last game, they're just leaking goals. It's not a team defensively I trust, and I think with how good Embolo has been in this competition, even without Manzambi, they're good enough to get that goal and force Colombia to respond, force them to press and make something happen. Second bet, Luis Diaz to goal or assist. Again, at plus money here. I know he hasn't been fantastic this competition, but I've got a bias here. I'm a Bayern Munich fan. I've seen what he's capable of. And even in a tournament where he only has 2 goal contributions, he's had 3 goals that have been called back for offside. So if they can fix that line problem a little bit, he's shown that he's deadly, and he's shown that with the guys around him, he can make something happen. I think we're going to see goals in this one, but the public doesn't. So I got to stay on my own for this one.
Who'd you have to win?
I got Colombia 2-1.
Ah, you tried to avoid that. You see him try to avoid it. You want to pick who to win.
He's trying to win us some money. He's trying to win us some money here, Buckets. All right, we'll have more on this one between Switzerland and Colombia. Stay with us on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount+.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount+.
Colombia taking on Switzerland from Vancouver very soon. And we want to talk a little bit about the players who made a real impact for Switzerland at this tournament. Yohan Manzambi off the bench to score a brace against Bosnia, had a goal and an assist against Canada, and then had an assist against Algeria as well. A tremendous performance for the Freiburg player, just 20 years of age. But the unfortunate news for him is that he picked up an injury in the build-up to this one in the final training session before the game. He's been the one player that's added that sort of special bit of magic for the Switzerland team at this tournament. How big of a miss is he, Jen?
Huge. I mean, he didn't even start coming into this tournament, but the impact that he's made, you know, the amount of goals he scored, he just looks, for 20 years old, he's that fearless young kid that comes onto a world stage and just thinks, right, I'm going to do what I know I'm capable of. But the way he carries the ball, the speed at which he does it, that we talked about carrying the ball for some of the Egypt players and how impactful that can be from a team if you're sitting a little bit deeper, just to carry your team further up. But next to that, some of the finishes he's had have been absolutely brilliant. So he's a huge miss. You know, hopefully it's not too long. Obviously, a matchday -1 injury is always the worst because you're always there for every single minute, and then day before a game, all of a sudden you're out. Hopefully it's nothing crazy, and if they get through, you'll be fine. But in terms of attacking threat, he's a huge miss for Switzerland today.
You wonder how the injury happened, right? Because like now everything's about injury prevention. You do drills to do injury prevention. You have like the heart rate monitors to make sure you're not running past what your exhaustion is, so that there's no soft tissue injuries. You wonder if it was a sloppy challenge. If so, why is he in that game? I think he's a massive miss in a massive game for Switzerland, because if they win this, they can really start to move the needle and start to move forward. I think he's a handful, and like Jen makes the best point about him, there's no fear. There's no handbrake on. He's not overthinking situation. He gets the ball, he turns, and he's just a handful. He's just a problem moving forward, whether it's on the dribble, whether it's his finishing. He's very positive when he gets the football. A little raw still sometimes, but I think he's a massive miss because he was a little bit of a wild card for Switzerland, and obviously in very good form as well.
Yeah, in this moment for Switzerland, it's going to be a big miss because of exactly what you guys said there. And I like the fact that you both said that, you know, he's fearless and he's young. The only thing that he has to understand now is that you have to make that transition a bit now to winning football matches at international level. You could be fearless and young, but you've still got a job to do as a professional. That's winning football matches. So sometimes I think he leans too much on the youth side, where now it's like you're with the big boys, international level, you still got a job to do. And I think that there's Granit Xhaka's had a go at him once or twice. Watched him throughout the year in the Europa League for Freiburg. He's got an unbelievable strike on him. Really, really great strike on him. You could see he's a young player. Just needs to start making that transition now to like becoming a polished young player, knowing what your job is. This is, yes, it's football, but we got a job to do. We got to get a result. We got to be smart in certain moments and certain times because the margins are very fine when it comes to international football. Definite great talent, great potential, but it will be a big miss for them today, especially with Switzerland.
I do love when that comes from his teammates as well, though, because they've outright said, I think Xhaka was one of them, watch this kid. He's going to be one of, you know, the next big players for Switzerland, potentially on world football. And I think we all know that feeling when you're an older one in the group and you see a young kid coming through and you're like, who is this kid? You know, they can become something really great, but, you know, they've said it themselves, still a lot to learn. But in terms of raw talent, he's got all the attributes.
And you can watch him on Paramount Plus in the Europa Conference League. One of our players.
Say it to the camera. Say it to the camera. Although I can't
That's
imagine.
your job, mate.
I can't imagine it'll be for too much longer, though. I imagine he's going to get a move somewhere, certainly off the back of this World Cup. You mentioned the opportunity that's there for Switzerland. This is kind of a fascinating game for both teams, really. Making World Cup quarterfinal would be an achievement for either of these sides. They get the opportunity to play each other. Switzerland haven't made the quarterfinal since 1954. So for them to have an opportunity to do this would be extraordinary. What is that pressure? I guess you're not playing, you know, your France, your Argentinas, your Brazils, your Englands, your whatever, your teams that have won the World Cup, two sides that would see the quarterfinal as a legitimate destination. How does that change the game in your mind, Grella?
I don't think it changes the game too much for Switzerland. I think they know what they want the game to look like. They're going to be very precise in trying to make the game a little bit more slow, a little bit more controlled, a little bit more in their favor. They've got some game changers in the team for sure. Yeah, and also we always talk about in whatever country you're from or whoever the team you're analyzing, we talk about progress in the World Cup. Last 3 World Cups, they made it to the round of 16, right? If they could move the needle now and get to the quarterfinal, that would be incredible. That would be like, here we go. That's progress. A lot of similar faces on the team, similar way to play. Guys playing in huge European clubs, going for huge money, and Doi being one of them. And Bolo, obviously, a handful of stuff. So all the tools are there. Managers there. Everything is set in place. And like you say, the matchup against Colombia is a doable one. It's not like they're coming up against France or someone that's like, hey, all right, fine, they're going to have to climb. They have to do something unthinkable to win this game. This is a real opportunity to show all the people back in Switzerland and the world, hey, we got something going on in Switzerland. We're very good. Obviously, they qualified over Italy. They were in the same group as Italy in the last World Cup, knocked Italy out, and Italy had to try to go through the playoffs and couldn't do it. So they're a better team than people probably think, and probably what they get credit for. So this would be an unbelievable opportunity to get that credit.
Yeah, they're consistent. That's the thing with Switzerland. They're consistent. You can never write them off. Very well run, very well coached. They've produced so much talent. They continue to produce talent. I think for me, it is really about pushing the needle. It is trying to make a semi-final and along that line, because to show how many years of consistency you've had as a nation and how well you've done footballing-wise. So it's more so for them to embrace that pressure, to go beyond the round of 16 and really push to say, you know what, we're here. Because we already know when you say Switzerland, we know good team, going to be organised, going to be difficult to beat, going to score goals, got the balancing act of being able to play football in every single aspect. You want to fight, they can fight. You want to play through the lines, they can play through the lines. They're dangerous attacking-wise, good defensively. So they're a solid team. But now it's really about pushing the needle.
Right. It's about getting to that next level, which is so difficult. From a Colombian standpoint, they made the quarterfinal in 2014 in that incredible run, ultimately lost to Brazil en route to their eventual defeat to Germany. But they captured so many hearts and minds back then. They haven't quite done it in the same way, but it is still a chance for this nation that was the only time they've ever made the quarterfinal in their history to make a quarterfinal and to, as you said, set up a matchup with Argentina. They beat Argentina in qualifying at home. So they will have that feeling of we can beat these guys.
Yeah, I definitely think both teams will be coming into this game. I think, you know, the guys have summed it up really well. There's not much that differs these two teams. Either team can go into this game with the exact same confidence. They've had similar runs in the tournament so far as well. But definitely with Colombia potentially having that edge because they've been in this situation, progress further, maybe. Albeit, you know, still a little while ago. But yeah, there's not much that differentiates these two teams. I think either team can win it. It's about managing key moments in the game, but I think both teams can come into this game really confident, knowing that they can either make history or do something again truly special.
Who do you guys think will win it then?
I'm going Colombia.
What are you looking at me for? I asked you a question. Don't look at me.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to give a prediction at some point. I'm going to ask you for yours.
After he goes.
I think Colombia will win. I think the game's going to be chaotic and going to be pressure. Same. I think Diaz is going to have a good game, and I think Colombia will win.
Two Colombias, Switzerland from you, Nige?
Hold on. You put words in my mouth.
No, I'm asking.
I didn't get to answer the question. You said Switzerland for me.
Our two panelists have said Colombia. Do you want to go for Switzerland?
Why would I go for Switzerland if I actually believe in Colombia as well?
Well, then go believe in Colombia.
I have Colombian friends. I know you're Colombian.
I'm Colombian.
I've got Colombian friends, yeah.
I consider you a friend, Nige.
I do. I think, I don't know, I just think I just got a gut feeling that Colombia will get it done. I think there's something special about tonight for them, and they're going to get it done and progress.
I agree. I must agree. 6-0 to Colombia, I'll say, for this one. But yeah, this will be a great one from Vancouver, Colombia and Switzerland. The winner takes on Argentina in the quarterfinal. Should be a fun one. We'll have plenty of coverage here on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has